It's time to get all your Star Wars news in a single file. From Fantha Tracks TV, this is Good Morning Tatooine!
Good morning, Tatooine. Indeed, we're back once again with your weekly recap of everything Star Wars, courtesy of FanthaTracks.com. So, what have we got coming up on this week's show? First up, we're going to be taking a look at LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. The makers have released a new featurette and we'll be checking that out. Next, the big news of the week. The teaser trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi has arrived. And we also got the first look at Darth Vader in the series. Ewan McGregor's been talking about what it was like hooking back up with Hayden Christensen for the series. And Entertainment Weekly has all the scoop. They've had an in-depth article speaking with the cast and crew over the 17-year journey to reunite everybody to make this project. My guest this week is from FanthaTracks.com, Mr. Matt Booker. How are you, Matt?
Good evening. I'm good.
It's been a while since we had a chance to catch up. So what have you been up to?
Work. Toy fair, spring fair, trade shows, and more work.
Excellent. For me, it's always Star Wars literature. Couple of purchases in this week. I'm going to show you.
What'd you get?
I got Grogu's book. That way.
Wow.
Tiny little miniature Grogu book. And just to show in comparison, one of the biggest Star Wars books I've seen is Tempest Runner from Cavan Scott. So if we put two side by side, see the difference. So the biggest Star Wars book and the smallest Star Wars book came in this week.
Nice.
I think Tempest Runner is actually out in America tomorrow. I think we got ahead of the game here a little bit in the UK. I could be wrong there.
All I've got recently is I've got some lovely Batman Oreos with the Dark Knight on them that you can't see very well, but it's
there you go.
Batman on it. And I did get these awards from a friend of a friend.
Props department, Pilgrim.
What's Pilgrim, Brian?
Andor.
Correct. Spoilers.
Something we're all looking forward to seeing later on this year.
That one. With that on the back. With the date 2020 to what? So who knows?
Yeah, one of the
back of the other one's a bit of a spoiler, so I'm not going to show it off too much. But yeah,
pretty much one of the longest running productions for a Star Wars
anything
film or TV series, I guess. All delayed by COVID, multiple shoots, and then the shot pretty much all over the UK, all down the west coast of England, up and down the various seaside towns.
And the South Coast and Scotland, and yeah. I visited 2 locations. How many did you visit?
2 as well. Visited both the Scottish locations.
Nice.
Yep. And we've got Mr. Bateman joined us in the chat there over on YouTube.
Hello, Paul.
Always grateful for anyone to add their comments if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. We'll try and answer any questions and bring your comments into the show. Been a big week for Star Wars news.
Picard Season 2 started, didn't it?
It did. Mr. Newbill's not here this week. We'll get away with it. Let's have a look.
Finally, the Kenobi trailer dropped. It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Let's have a look at something else first, though. Let's have a look at Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. So, beautiful graphics as always for the Lego stuff. They released this featurette, gives you a little bit of idea about the work that's going on in the background of the show. Or rather into the game. There's a lot of excitement over this game. Is it something that you're going to pick up and play, or?
I don't game on current consoles anymore. I don't really get time for it. I just play a bit of Pokemon Go, and that's about it for me in gaming. And the VR. I enjoy the VR Star Wars games.
Yeah.
I would love this game if I knew I had time to put into it. And watching the trailer and this featurette and one of the other things they put out, I remember how many weeks and hours and months I played on the original 3 original trilogy, prequel trilogy, Clone Wars, and then Complete Saga. So I played the first 4 games and the indie one and the Marvel one, and they just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And when they announced this was delayed last year and it was delayed, people were whinging and whining, and I'm like, do you want to put out half a game that's not finished? Do you want Cyber, whatever it was, the Keanu Reevesy one that was complete Cyberpunk 2020, whatever it was, the complete mess? Yeah. Do you want that, or do you want a game that's fully finished and fully realised and it's got everything they want to put in it? Watching this footage, they've given you everything you knew you wanted and a million things more. They've really given you so much stuff in this game. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Look at it. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, if I had time, I would probably play a lot of this.
Yeah. And even I'm not the biggest fan of the sequel trilogy, but even when you see some of the sequel trilogy stuff they've kind of got a nice sense of humour to it. They've picked nice locations, Octo, and they've kind of got so I'm going to call them the fish people for a better word, and a whole kind of little scene there look kind of fun.
Yeah, but them saying, as you walk around, you get more dirt on you and stuff, and the detail they put into it. Yes, it still looks like Lego figures. Yes, they are still Lego-built vehicles. But from look at that. It's a mouse droid with a Stormtrooper on. It's brilliant. But from the first game they ever did, the humour was there, and that's what won you over. They were just really funny. And this one you can do in a mode where there's no dialogue. It's just the classic noises, like and all that stuff. I think it's the mode for that. And I'm like, oh, it's brilliant. That looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful.
The interesting thing about it as well, you get to see a little bit more of the worlds. You've kind of got the Attack of the Clones there from Coruscant, and we didn't really see much of it in the film. You got a quick blast through this. You get a chance to explore it in this kind of game, which will be fun.
You can drown Jar Jar. What more do you need?
I think a lot of people might do that.
Yeah, just run Jar Jar into things, leave them off of tall buildings.
But yeah, all the Lego stuff has kind of got like a good sense of humour that works for Star Wars. The kind of stuff that we're trying to do with Detours, which has never been released.
No, the style of humour to this and the style of, the whole games, and then all the TV stuff they did, all the animated stuff they did with Lego Star Wars, 3 or 4 specials, and then the 2 series and stuff, all had that same sensibility and style to it. And whoever did it in the first place and started it off has got it so right. And there's stats in this game. This game is going to be absolutely massive.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge. That's correct, Paul. Probably the best games on the saga. Plus, you can finish them. You know, I love this. Oh no, Space Nuns. No. We've been there, haven't we, Brian?
We've been there.
We've walked up. Oh, I've walked up there. You walked half it. Yeah, playing with the Lego Star Wars games probably are the best games that work with the films, because the Lego, the SNES games they did, Super Nintendo games they did, were so bloody hard. They were just too difficult for their own bloody good.
I was actually, I've got a retro Pi, so you can do some like vintage gaming. I've been playing some of the SNES stuff lately, and yeah, very, very hard.
Too difficult. Like, I don't mind.
Salacious cram, can't beat that.
Into it. Yeah, can. You just get a big stick. You know, that character they just showed then, the green ones, that guy at the bar in episode 9, when you see John Williams, when you meet Babu Frick.
Yeah.
And they've done him as a Lego character, and you're like, you'll see him more in this game than you did in the bloody movie. Going to that planet, oh, which one's that? Oh, that's, yeah. And this and that, and there's a lot to this. Look at that, Brian, you can play as a droid. Brilliant.
That part I might skip. Yoda I'd like to play as.
Yeah. Leia blowing stuff up. Brilliant.
But yeah, it's it looks like it's going to be great. It's when's it due to come out? It's due to come out April 5th. There we go. Tells you right there on the screen.
So
perfect timing.
Yeah. I don't like the fact you've got to buy expansions to get all the other stuff, but that's the way gaming is now.
That's become what gaming is now.
But people complain about it, but I remember buying, you know, Shadows of the Empire on the N64 day of release, and that cartridge on its own was like 60 quid for just one cartridge for one game, and there was no possibility for expansions, and games are now cheaper than they ever were.
Paul, there we need a decent sequel sim game. They're struggling at that at the moment.
Yeah. But yeah, the game looks fantastic. They've really put their all in. For all those haters and whingers and whiners who complained that it didn't come out on time when they originally promised it,
yeah,
you'll get your game and it'll be fully finished, and you'll see why. Looking at the trailers, hopefully it'll be glitch free, it'll be perfect, it'll work, and it'll have everything in and more than you ever wanted.
Yeah, hours and
they
hours.
They gave themselves time to polish it.
Yeah. That was one video that came up on YouTube this week, kind of overshadowed by this one. Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, you know, let's run that trailer because that's what everyone's talking about. Series coming out May 25th. We're all kind of excited for it. We're all interested in what it's going to bring.
They best do a screening at Celebration.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing Kadu's back, brilliant.
So, you know, you're getting a little glimpse. Young Luke, the Lars Homestead, Obi-Wan.
You know what? This isn't as good without the music. The music really made
the
this
music
trailer.
does make it.
The music was just. I like that. I like the swipe. Love that.
And we're getting to see, for the first time, live action, the Inquisitors, which have obviously been in the animated series. A lot of discussion about the size of his head.
They should have just given him more of a dome on top, extended the cranium at the top.
Yeah.
I mean, hanging is in Star Wars, brilliant. What's not to like?
Yeah. Joel Edgerton as well, back as Uncle Owen.
Bonnie Peace is back. You know.
So you're kind of getting to see back to Tatooine.
Has Ben gone off planet? Why should Ben go off planet? Ben shouldn't go off planet.
And you're kind of getting to see new worlds as well.
Really? You sure?
Yeah, afraid so.
Huh. And then Birdie Birds.
Ewan's looking great in it as well. Looking quite gaunt in the face, which made me wonder if he lost some weight prior to the series.
He did a lot of training for it, didn't he? Because when he started working on it, somebody on Instagram posted they were training with Ewan for it.
Yeah.
His personal training for it. But yeah. The music got for me. The trailer looks good. The music's fantastic.
Yeah, Paul there
Maybe
saying he
they've
wants
got
flashbacks. There's good to be flashbacks. You know, Hayden Christensen's back. There's only so much you can do with him. And
Yeah, bring him back, maybe only in the suit.
Yeah, so you've kind of got, there's got to be flashbacks in there.
Yeah.
Paul saying Leah's got to be the reason why he leaves the planet. You know, and that's got to be, there has to be the MacGuffin to bring him off while it's got to be something significant. And
Yeah, fair enough.
To me, you know, the obvious story is to go down the whole route of Leah's father being the one that knows where he's going. Something you might know, Matt. Carol there's asking any news in the trading card series 3.
Yes, imminent. They've got released in Germany. Who was it who sent me the I lost the information of the week. Oh, I can't remember who sent it to me. Mark Howard sent the information. Blue Ocean have put them up. They're on sale in Spain, but no word on UK release yet. So if you go on the Blue Ocean site, which is a Spanish distributor, they're up on their website.
Yeah. There you go. Asked and answered. Paul's saying he hopes to see Aldran. That's something we've never seen live action. Would be fantastic to see.
Yeah,
kind of, especially, you know, you're looking back at some of the concept art for Alderaan that was created, never really been used.
We saw at the end of episode 3.
Yeah, but momentarily.
You mean properly?
Properly, yeah.
I put the link in the chat for you, Carl.
Perfect. He's saying thank you very much. Anyone else that wants it, there it is up on the screen.
Yeah. But there's no UK information yet, but they will come. But some of the cards have just been released by somebody that I saw on cart the other day. So the companies generally space out the card releases a little bit between.
Yeah.
Plus, they've got to translate the Spanish cards into English.
Yeah. The other part of what we've seen this week is first chance to see Darth Vader.
Oh wow! Do you know what, Brian?
Proper photo there. So it's a classic.
Me, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a classic look for Vader.
He's got his legs together though. He's normally got a wider stance, and
it's very Batman-esque, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
So obviously Hayden's back.
Film was fantastic.
Hayden's, you know, in the interviews, Hayden spoke about being in the suit. There's kind of hints, especially from Ewan in one of the interviews that he did, that he was excited to be working opposite Anakin. So that kind of hints at what Paul was asking earlier about flashbacks being potential. Could just be a misspeak, but it's
a brand new Vader costume as well. They had to make a new one.
Yeah.
Because George owns the original ones. You know, so yeah, it looks. I'm amazed that they didn't give us Vader in the trailer, seeing him, and then they put the photo up the next day. It was a bit of a weird one.
Yeah. It is. I guess it's Entertainment Weekly taking the news and trying to hold it out for the whole week.
I'm amazed they're out of print now. This is their last print issue, which is just insanity, isn't it?
Yeah. Changing world, I guess. The writer of the series there, Joby Harold, teasing that Vader's going to be sort of casting his presence across the whole series, so we might not see huge amounts of Vader because I think the work's going to be done by the Inquisitors, it appears. But he's going to have that overarching kind of presence that perhaps the Emperor had in the original trilogy. You know, there's a kind of little bit of a role reversal, perhaps a little bit, where Vader's directing operations.
Was it Volume 2 of the Vader comic we had the Inquisitors in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe.
Part of the release, Metal 10 Weekly interviewed Ewan to put up a little video, 4 or 5 minutes, which was a lot of fun. Ewan seemed very happy, very excited, which is a positive because he kind of felt like he ended the prequel trilogy on a bit of a downer just because of public reaction more than anything else.
What, he's chopping up his best mate?
Yeah, that too. Excited to be back. Spoke a lot about working with Hayden again. Hayden was very complimentary on the fact that Ewan treated him almost like a best friend from day one. You know, he was on the set, so it was interesting.
Well, they went through so much together with those two films. You know, they must have worked 5 or 6 years together to do those two.
Yeah,
fairly solidly for all the training and stuff they did, especially for 3. So, yeah, it's good to see him back. I just hope the story they're going to tell is worth telling.
Yeah, I think that's a big concern for most people. I think there's an element of it being headcanon because we've kind of all got this ideas in our head of Obi-Wan between episodes 3 and 4 and what he should do and what he shouldn't. And
my headcanon is he goes to Tatooine, he watches over Luke, and he doesn't do anything else.
Yeah, the hermit
he goes
kind
and
of
does weekly Aldi shopping.
Yeah, he was very much the hermit.
He gets delivery for the odd Ronto burger and asks you a lot.
Yeah. And you kind of get to feel that that's kind of got to be where the series ends, isn't it?
Yes.
Becoming the hermit. I'm not leaving.
I think it's got to start like that and end like that, in my opinion. If he's going to go on some sort of adventure during the show, it needs to be the first couple of episodes. He's on Tatooine, just keeping his head down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then something comes to him and says, actually, you need to go and do this. You're the only one who can do it, but you got to keep your head down. But is he on the Coruscant type planet with that lady? Is that him, do you reckon? I didn't watch the trailer close enough because I don't want to know too much.
Yeah.
If it is, why the hell would you go out dressed like a Jedi? Honestly.
Yeah. It's always been my argument is that if you want to be hiding, you don't dress as a Jedi. But also, why do you wear heavy robes and that if you're living on Tatooine? But anyway,
honestly, mate, ditch the dressing gown.
Watching the trailer, it appears that he's on an adventure of some description and the Inquisitors are pursuing him. So I guess the chase starts in Tatooine and carries on. Paul there asking the question whether you think Yoda might show up.
Maybe on Skype.
Zoom call.
Yeah.
Paul asking, why does the Grand Inquisitor look like Crichton from Red Dwarf?
Ah, but sir, where would all the calculators go? Because he got his head stuck in a lift.
David, hopefully it's going to be better than Boba Fett. A lot of people kind of disappointed with Fett because it didn't deliver what they felt the character of Fett should be. Question remains whether Obi-Wan can deliver on what we want Obi-Wan to be.
Well, it better do.
They've
had enough. I think with Kenobi, they've had enough time to murmur over and get this story correct.
Yeah.
Over all these years, and you think some people at Lucasfilm will have had the rough plotting for this plotted out for a while and to finesse it. Whereas I think the Fett show was a kind of, we're not doing Mando season 3 so quickly because there were problems on Mando season 2. Let's just shoehorn in a Fett show rather than, is the Fett TV show anything like Josh Trank was going to do? Probably not.
No.
Because that was heavily developed before then, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's something that this article I've just pulled up so you can read over in Panther Tracks. It's extracts from Entertainment Weekly's report into the 17 journey to reunite this cast, and it talks a little bit in there about the fact that Obi-Wan was originally going to be a film, and they considered the film to be a little bit too bleak and they wanted something slightly more uplifting. So similar vein to Fett was obviously originally going to be a movie, but I think with the whole Josh Trank thing, I don't think there was ever a script in place. I think it was a case of we've got the creative people and we're announcing it, but we don't have anything really substantial behind it.
Yeah, but then was the Fett thing to do with the 1313 thing that George was working on that didn't happen? I don't know.
A lot of elements I think all sort of came into it.
Yeah.
Paul Naylor
Nothing
suggested there that the last 2 episodes
appeared.
of Kenobi should be on spending 6,000 credits to go on this Star Cruiser. What's everyone's guess? Because on Fett, there were so many people suddenly getting Star Cruisers everywhere, like taxis. Are we going to see a Star Cruiser in Kenobi? Is that how he gets off planet?
Not to Tatooine. Well, I suppose it was in Fett. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he might go on a P&O ferry across the Channel Islands or something. That's all he'll manage to do.
Yeah.
P&O ferry across the Dune Seas, all he can cope with.
Paul saying he hopes the Inquisitors aren't in it too much. He'd rather see Vader in action. I would rather see Vader in action as well, but I don't know if I want to see Vader versus Obi-Wan. That's my issue. I
wanna
think
see
the
Vader.
Inquisitors are basically that stopgap between Vader and Obi-Wan, so you can
I
fight an
want to see
Inquisitor,
Vader
but
hunting Jedi, but not Ben. I
Yeah.
want to see Vader killing off some other Jedi.
I suspect we're going to see one scene between Vader and Obi-Wan.
I don't want to see it. It doesn't need to be done.
No.
They never meet in my head canon.
Digging into Entertainment Weekly. Let's bring this up on a bigger screen so we can see. But obviously, focus again on the return of Vader. Ewan McGregor speaks about it. And that he came out to set and there was just people standing around gazing, and he wondered what was going on, and it was basically the fact that Hayden had come out dressed as Vader. And you can imagine what that's like.
Is James Earl Jones going to reprise? Bloody better do if he's Vader in.
Andrew's
Might
asking a
have more
question.
lines
Didn't
in.
Ewan have some input into Kenobi? Makes me feel a bit better. I think he's a producer on it. I think Ewan gets a producer credit.
Extra coin to come back. Yeah.
If Vader and Obi can't meet, a lot of people are going to feel that way. Feels inevitable that they're going to, though.
But then Boba Fett couldn't take his helmet off.
Yeah.
And every time he walked in somewhere, he took it off and then I'd tell people who he was. He couldn't tell who he was. He couldn't got his helmet on.
Hayden there on being Darth Vader again. The whole experience then was surreal. First time he saw Ewan as Obi-Wan again, it was a special moment and one he'll remember.
Yeah. 6 episodes. These TV series are getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah. So Joby Hall, the writer of the series there, basically saying that there's a passion to Obi-Wan, and when we get to see him again in A New Hope, he's a Zen master. He wanted to understand what the journey was there. And Kathleen Kennedy also chimed in on bringing Vader back. About there was a big debate as to whether or not they should do it for quite some time. Everyone had strong opinions, and I think that's going to be the same across the fan base. I think.
I think the problem it's been 17 years plus, the 45, and everyone's got their own headcanon, so it is very hard to tie things in with it.
Yeah, the one character,
awesome.
Yeah, one character we've seen a lot of, Moses Ingram, who's playing Reva, which I guess is a play on Raven, which everybody's kind of hoping is going to come back in some kind of series at some point. She basically describes Reva as being the boss, full-on athlete on a mission to conquer at all costs.
Who's she working for? The Inquisitors, the good guys, the bad guys?
She's an Inquisitor.
Is she?
Yep.
Oh, didn't get that. I can't see it in the outfit.
Deborah Chow was also asked about whether there'd be a crossover. Kathleen Kennedy jumped in and basically said that the other characters all fall within the Mandalorian timeline, and this is a different timeline.
Yeah.
And that Deborah Chow basically says the biggest crossovers for them come from the prequel era. And that's what's most connected to the series. And something everyone sort of, Paul's there, 6 episodes of Kenobi, but over an hour, I think I heard somewhere. I think it is all hitting the hour mark. Kathleen Kennedy chimed on about whether we'd get more, and basically the answer to that is it's all to do with why would you do it. If you decide to do more, the question would be why, which I think is a fair question to ask.
Why in the first place? But yeah, I get it.
Yeah. It's a difficult circle. I think you've got the actors there that are well liked. Ewan's spoken a lot in the past about wanting to do more with the character, that they're at effectively the right age to do something. It felt almost inevitable that they were going to do something with them. It's a case of the whole question of should they, and we're not going to know until we see the series whether it delivers. I guess.
Yeah. I did like it popped in one of the groups I'm in that Kevin Edward Thompson, who's one of the Ewoks in Jedi, is on the Kenobi bus. You see that? I think I sent the picture, didn't I? Yeah. There's that tiny little shot of Kenobi on the shuttle bus or whatever it is. The people moving from.
Yeah, let's for fun roll the trailer again, because no one's going to complain about seeing it next time, I don't think.
No.
If I can find it.
Yeah.
Here we
That
go.
was in there. In that shot.
Okay.
But he was an Ewok in Jedi, so he's just in a self-published book that I've seen promoted on a few pages. So.
And just when you're looking for it, I can't find it. Can't find it.
Oh well.
Here we go. Here we go. Come on, Brian. Pull it together. Here we go. Here's a trailer. Throw it back up.
There's some sand.
Some
That's
sand.
the third TV show in a row with some more sand in it.
Eopes that people seem to be obsessed with, even though they fart all the time. I would have a less offensive animal. Heading out into the wilderness of Tatooine, he seems to have himself a little cave.
Is that Luke's cave from the cutscene from Jedi then?
I kind of think it might be.
Saber? Maybe. Yeah, seeing Inquisitors in live action is kind of cool, but
So
I think
that's their sort of base, and that's been seen in animation, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. I just wish they got the look of him right.
That's
the guy may be
Sebastian
a
on
great
about.
actor, but he doesn't fit the character. Whereas the one with the big dish head, whatever he was called, the seventh brother, whatever it is, I don't know, can't remember which ones they were. He was fantastic. He was like a brute force one. Yeah, lots of classic troopers. There's a droid there, though. Yeah, this one. He was awesome. Not sure what the birds are, but they'll.
Is that not the force birds that always appear everywhere where there's Jedi?
Oh, the owls.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, 6 episodes. Because people were getting irate during FET, Where's Our Kenobi trailer? And people just need to learn that they'll give you the trailer when nothing else needs promoting.
Yeah. Disney have kind of had a pretty solid record when it comes to Disney Plus and not doing anything until 60 days or thereabout. It was actually 77 days when they dropped this teaser.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's weird. I still thought it'd be a way off, but I'm assuming that was to do with the publishing of the last Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah.
With my theory.
Paul's saying he hopes to see Tem in a clone role. I actually thought originally when you see the Inquisitor whirling his lightsaber, he was potentially, it was Boba Fett standing in front of him because it looked like a bald head, but when you actually look at it closer, it's quite a bit of a hairline like mine. Paul.
Your Star Wars haircut, Brian.
Paul's asking who gave Pub a lightsaber. Pub was featured in this show last week. It's becoming a thing. People in America are wondering what Pub is. Gonna have to Google it. Now I can't remember the name of the chef again that used to present it with him. Gary Rhodes. There we go. I remembered it last week.
Yes.
It took me an effort last week. I eventually got there.
Channel 4, I think, wasn't it? Very weird.
You mentioned the music. Really obviously, we can't run the music on here because we'll get taken off air for copyright, blah, blah, blah. You mentioned how much you loved it. Paul's mentioning there how much he looking forward to hearing John Williams' new theme. I thought they did a great job in the trailer and mixing things together. But yeah.
Nothing new in there, was there?
No, I don't think there was anything new in there, but it's quite exciting to see John Williams getting back involved and doing a new theme. And I quite like the idea of him not necessarily scoring the whole show, but just like get him in, give us a pumping anthem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of liked what they did. Well, I liked the Mandalorian theme. I liked what they did on FET up until the point that they added words to it. And
on that last episode,
yeah,
it's horrible.
It was almost like a comedy skit. It just like it to me that kind of summed up the series of FET. You know, they just got the beats all wrong, and it just like just doing that then just it was bad.
Yeah, that and Space Vespers can just do one, in my opinion.
it didn't work, you know, and I think that's a risk that they've got with Obi-Wan. They need to make something work. And people are going to go in, I think, with their own headcanon as to what Obi-Wan should be and what Obi-Wan should be doing. So they've got a hard sell to justify the initial story. And then they're going to have to deliver on that story as well.
But then they should all have in their heads a similar kind of headcanon and work within it and give a good enough reasoning for him to pop out of what is our headcanon. Because most fans have got the same kind of headcanon, this Kenobi thing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That him and Vader should never meet, and he should just sit on a planet and watch Netflix and chill. Sorry, watch Disney Plus and chill, I suppose, on that planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
what's your thoughts? Should Obi-Wan meet young Luke?
No.
No.
I don't think he does, from what Beru and Owen have said. I think he should discuss. I don't mind him meeting Beru or Owen away from the last homestead. I don't know how he's spying on Luke, because every time you saw the last homestead, it was miles of sand and no rocks anywhere near it.
Yeah.
So how he's spying on him, they must be mega fast binoculars, whatever they are, you know. They should be very strong binoculars that have got mega vision. Which, if it's a Jedi version, they probably are, so you probably have the best tech. I don't think he should meet Luke.
There's opportunity.
Anyway, was it?
There's opportunity to link it to the Fett series by introducing the Tusken Raiders.
3 episodes of him training with Tuskens. No, I don't want to have 3 episodes of him training with Tuskens. Jesus. No.
But, you know, they could have a crossover. You could encounter that same group, is what I'm getting at.
The same clan? Yeah, possibly.
I think the reason I mention that is because obviously the female in the clan had a very distinctive look, and so it's easy to say he's encountered that same clan.
Fair enough.
I also noticed what Paul's saying here. There, why is Luke's hair not blonde?
Because it's the 1978 brown-haired variation of the finger pull. That's why.
That a lot of things like that. Because I started doubting myself: is that Luke? Is it not Luke? And everyone seems to have settled on the fact that it is Luke.
Well,
we don't know.
Yeah.
Could Owen and Beru have had their own child?
It could be Kitster's son.
You know, they could have had their own kid,
who's come round for
and
a
that
payday
kid dies.
in the hut.
You know,
Kitster gets killed by the Tuskens, and that's why Luke's all grumpy, and Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru let Luke go off.
Yeah.
Is it Biggs?
Yeah. Should there be other aspects of Tatooine introduced back in? Should we see the likes of Jabba? Should we see the likes of Watto? Are you wanting to avoid all that kind of thing?
Yeah. Do we go to Mos Pelgo now?
Yeah.
Do we see Peli Motto? No. I don't want... they've got this real habit in the Disney era of tying everything together, and you watch Rogue One, and species in Rogue One appear that week after in the comics and stuff, even though it's different time eras and stuff. I want to see classic Tatooine stuff, please.
Yep.
Yeah, more Peli Motto in the show she's in that time era. I don't want her, or a young version of her, a young version of Peli Motto, if she's the same humanoid species as Luke, would be about the same age. I'd have thought. You're gonna get some 8-year-old in a perm. No.
Yeah, I can see Jabba being there, because if you're an Inquisitor and you're coming to Tatooine and you want to find someone, why wouldn't you go to the local crime lord?
The daimyo.
Yeah, you've also got that sets already out there, all nicely built.
And Matt Wood could revisit his bib again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, the cantinas that they've got, they're making all this stuff on a budget. I mean, Boba Fett had a very tight budget. They didn't have a lot of money to spend on that at all. Or if it was just a sound stage with some sand.
Yeah. It visited a lot of the same sets.
It really showed. I think the problem Fett had, because I was discussing this with Richard Mitchell from Fantha and a couple of other guys in the shop yesterday. We were all discussing it, and Fett suffered the Fett series would be really cool if it was Boba Fett, but we've already had that for the last 2 years. And Mandalorian did what Boba Fett should be doing.
Yeah.
So Fett got the short end of that Mando show. Should have been the Boba Fett show from the first place.
Yeah.
Because Mando went and visited lots of planets, and Fett just stayed on world.
And Fett basically ended with the question that, well, the statement that everybody kind of thought is that, don't think this is really for me, being the crime lord.
Yeah.
And I think that's everyone would agree.
Yeah. He found a very nice big Nando's in the basement of the Sarlacc pit, and a very good dentist to get his teeth done. And he got fat.
Yeah. The fact that Ewan seems happy on this, he seems very happy in what's happened, is a positive. We're kind of clutching at straws as to what the series is going to be, but his disappointment with the prequels was undeniable, following that, and he wanted to do something. He seems very happy with what they've done here, so does that fill you with hope?
It does fill me with hope. It really does. I mean, I'm glad it's coming. I never thought, 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, before Disney, I was sat at Celebration 3 when George said to everybody, we're not making any more Star Wars films. I'm done with Star Wars. And a few years later, Clone Wars came out and stuff. But I never thought we'd have much more Star Wars content, let alone 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 TV series, animated live action this year. It's mental. And then people complain why the toy companies aren't making all the merchandise. It's like, they can't bloody keep up. With stuff like the volume, you can churn around a TV show a lot quicker than you could with a movie.
Yeah.
Companies like Hasbro and Funko can turn out something in a couple of weeks the way they make stuff. The main problem with them is the shipping it to this country. Or Hasbro take a longer time as a behemoth of a company to design, create, approve, and manufacture a product. And we're a year out, we've still not had a Boba Fett figure from them. I think they've just started appearing in America.
And I don't think we're getting very much alongside Obi-Wan either. I haven't seen anything particularly.
There's stuff coming.
Yeah.
There'll be stuff coming.
Not in time for the series being out, but we're talking probably later in the year. Yeah.
Not a clue. Yep. Not exactly sure, but I know stuff will be coming.
Yeah.
So
I know in the literature world, there's a couple of generic Obi-Wan stuff coming out around about the show's release, and there's publications coming out over
the book with 3 press images in it.
Some stuff coming out later in the year, but nothing particularly dedicated to the TV show. It's more the character.
No, that's the kind of thing we've lost, is the full tie-in with all merchandise to a show.
Yeah.
I'm sure Disney Store will have shops. Well, both the Disney shops around the world, ones that are left, will have merchandise out fairly quick. The print to order media, like T-shirts and posters and mugs and stuff, is quite easy to knock out. Everyone's got a Darth Vader helmet, something in their archive of merch, and Luke's will go, "Here's a new Darth Vader image with a new logo on it." You bang that out, and off you go.
Yeah.
What I want to see in this TV series? Pod racing.
Okay. The it's definitely something that could be in there.
That is true, Paul.
Yeah, Paul's saying there, we're nitpicking new shows, but we're able to enjoy cartoony work movies. It's very true.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we'll nitpick Boba Fett, we'll nitpick what's going to come in Obi-Wan. Doesn't mean we're not enjoying it.
I did enjoy it. It just, Fett didn't have the polish that the Mando show had. It wasn't the same standard and quality we'd come to expect from the last
It definitely
TV series.
felt like the Fett series was a stopgap to fill a hole in the schedule, and that the elements that focused on the Mandalorian actually delivered, because that's really what they've been focusing on all along. That's kind of how it kind of ended for me, I think.
I hope Kenobi's good. I've got faith it will be. They've got good people making it.
Yeah. I like the designs. Tatooine looks great, as always. The more you see of that, the more I like. Everything seems to fit in with the original. The new world, they are slightly different. Looks interesting. Interested to see more of that.
It looks Coruscant-y.
You think?
Yeah.
I thought it had a very sort of Asian kind of feel to it.
Blade Runnery, yeah.
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 So
It looks good. It looks good.
yeah. We'll have to wait and see. We've got a little over 2 months to go, and we'll be counting down. There's going to be more news on this between now and then. I think every week we're going to get more and more reveals, and we'll have a full trailer at some point as well.
My hope is at Celebration they show episode 2 a couple of days early to the fans there.
That would be a good thing to do. I've heard rumours that they're going to show the first episode, which obviously comes out on the 25th, just before Celebration starts. That they're going to show that at a screening at Celebration. It would be great to see that on a cinema screen and an audience full of Star Wars fans. I think to give a sneak peek to episode 2 would be great too.
Rebels on cinema screens, and it's just a fantastic experience. We're not going to get cinematic Star Wars at a cinema with a new movie for a while, so to do that is great. I think they better do an Andor panel.
Yeah. I think it's all going to be about timing, because there's a D23 as well, I think, coming in August. So it depends on when Andor is out. They may want to hold that back for then. I think a big part of this year's celebration is going to be Droid's Tales as well. I think that's going to be a big focus on that.
Droid's Tales and Bad Batch Season 2.
Yeah.
I mean, the Droid's Tales Instagram's live, isn't it? You sent me.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing on it.
Blank, but it's created, but no content as yet.
Yeah, but then so was the Kenobi one. And then the Kenobi Twitter just went, hello there.
Yeah.
And people lost their mind over that. And you're like, whoever did that's got a good sense of humour and knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's a shame the same thing didn't happen on Instagram and Facebook at the same time, but it didn't.
Yeah, there seemed to be quite a disorganised launch in some, because it didn't all come out on all platforms at the same time. It's kind of weird.
No. And it doesn't take an idiot to be able to do that, because I managed to do it on ours.
Claire there, Celebration Humph.
Yeah,
not all that's going. I won't be there this year either, sadly. But I'll be watching from a distance, and I'll be probably watching a live stream, and then the live stream's going to go blank as you guys are seeing the good stuff.
That's all right. You can Zoom call me, mate. I'll show you it.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you the bits with the droids in it. You'll be happy.
Yeah, that's all I want. More droids.
Yeah.
If this celebration is all about droid tales, I've missed the right one.
Yeah, I think bringing the date forward has messed around with a lot of companies and what's going to happen. So I've spoken to some people who said that they're not given the right information just yet. It's all a bit late.
Yeah.
That is true, Paul. We're going to have to wear our layer buns and get drunk on our own instead.
Mr. Newbold, I hear's the Leia Buns guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take his lead on that one then.
Claire's suggesting that me and you can sleep on the floor somewhere and pretend we're there. I'll maybe go down go through my conservatory to the concrete floor there and just lie there from the night before celebration. just so I get the feeling of being out there.
Kevin, I did that in Anaheim. It was bloody brilliant.
Yeah, too old for that now. Too old for that game.
Little Debbie's and off we went.
Nothing better than paying £100 plus for a room and then sleeping in a cold, dark basement.
Yeah, I think I've done that 3 times now.
Yeah.
I know we lucked out in London, didn't we? Because we were staying in the hotel next door. So we just got up early and went down for it. But yeah, I've slept on the floor a couple of times. It's got to be done. Seeing things like those trailers and footage at conventions with a massive like-minded nut jobs, who've done and achieved and wasted all their time sleeping on the floor the night before and just to go and see it as a mass experience. It's fantastic. It's been missing for the last 2 years. I got it with Spider-Man. Yeah, it was very bright in Anaheim. But when Spider-Man, have you seen Spider-Man yet?
Yeah, I've seen Spider-Man.
When the spoilery thing happens, when the things happen, and you see the thing, and every sort of way, and the whole cinema had a joint reaction. The endorphins get going, and it's a good thing to experience, and it's something you used to get a lot more. And then lockdown made you miss that, and until it happens again, you don't realise how much you miss it. And it's the collective experience on doing stuff like that is cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I'm going to miss it terribly. But as a thing stand, that's it. Just life. But hopefully there's going to be one next year as well, because if we remember before lockdown, it was going to be 2020, and there was one in 2019, so it was becoming an annual thing. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, I don't know what's going next year, film and TV wise at all though.
There you go. Neil's asking, will we need to sleep on the floor, or will there be a lot like they did in Chicago?
Don't know, Neil.
Never had to sleep on the floor for Star Wars Fans Fun Day, have we?
He's going to make you sleep on the floor.
And there's still, there's still pizza stories, the same as Celebration at Star Wars Fun Day as well. So we'll be looking forward to joining Neil at the start of May for that, before Celebration. If you haven't got your tickets, get your tickets now. Yes, Star Wars, swffd.co.uk. There you go. There's a plug.
Meet the Fanthers up there.
Yeah. Paul saying the lottery was so popular or not. I hope they have a working app this time. That was the most frustrating thing for me.
That'd be quite useful, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That was just an absolute nightmare how some people could book for panels and others couldn't. I just got to the point I just walk in the front of the line and complain and saying the app doesn't work and just getting in. Felt that worked.
Yes.
If you're a grumpy Scot, you can go for it, scare the locals.
Just garble hardcore Scottish at them and they don't know what the hell you're on about. You and he's my brother, he's my cousin, you're going to get me in.
I could have tried that one. Go for that accent, Matt. I'm sure it'll work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's legit. I'll get Kev to do his Scottish as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good shout from Mr. Naylor. Why don't we have Celebration in London, 50th anniversary of Jedi?
Because they don't think that well things through, do they?
There you go. Return to London. I think on that note, looking ahead to some positives that could happen down the line. We've got a lot to look forward to over the coming weeks. We'll be covering it each and every week on this show. Coming with Kenobi, Celebration's just round the corner, so there's going to be lots of news in the build up to that. Jump over to StarWarsCelebration.com. Tickets go back on sale tomorrow, I think. I'm right in saying.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. You can get your applications in if you want to present on the podcast stage as well. And collecting tracks close, I think. But we look forward to lots of announcements over the coming week. Thanks everyone for joining us in the chat. Thanks for all your comments, questions. Keeps the show interesting to get different opinions throughout. Appreciate that. One last little view of the Kenobi trailer before we go. I think might be in order.
They've got to sing the music to it.
Wish we had the music to go with it.
Yeah.
There we go. Classic Tatooine. Can't beat a bit of Tatooine.
Bit of scaffolding.
I do wonder, and it wasn't as apparent in this show of whether they used the volume. I presume they did. There was nothing I kind of picked out. I wasn't that impressed with some of the volume work in Fett.
No, some of it looked ropey as heck, but this looks... I'm assuming they did.
Yeah.
Unless they went out to Yuma and filmed some stuff out there, where they filmed the sail barge kind of stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
They filmed Mando when he met Fett out in LA where people go running and stuff. They just shut it off and did that. So I'm assuming.
Kind of like the idea of the bus. Obi-Wan going away to work. Villages on Tatooine.
Getting the National
Uncle
Express
Owen.
Greyhound to work every day.
Yeah.
Or was he just gone to do his shopping?
Yeah.
Gone down to Walmart. But look, a droid in Star Wars, even though there weren't meant to be any Imperial droids left. I don't know.
I guess the interesting part is you've got the Inquisitors there on Tatooine. They're going to feel someone being there that's force sensitive in terms of Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
It does bug me, this whole use of the word hope all the time. Still bugs me.
It's just jumping around in timelines. People asking if it's going to have Grogu and the Mandalorian in it. It's like, well, it can't because of the timeline.
Yeah, absolutely. But thanks everyone for joining us. We'll be back next week with more Star Wars news. Keep it on panthertracks.com. Mr. Newbold's away this week, so the pressure's on me to keep some news up there. There's plenty of podcasts coming, so Panther Tracks Radio as well on your podcaster of choice. And we'll be back. Look forward to meeting you all again next week. Thanks, guys.
And if you see any news, send it to us.
Yeah.